Hello and welcome back to Brick Army. Right, today we have the Wange BTR4. This is a model that I streamed the other day and also the first viewer request that I've had for a model. So, usual story, 60-second speed build, show some pics and then we'll get into the review. Let's crack on and build. So welcome back. Right, BTR4. What do we think? Well, first of all, instructions. They are okay. There's a few, if you're used to doing these models, or type of models, there are a few bits in here where you are going to have to read between the lines a little bit, where it's not particularly clear. And also one thing I noticed that they do, particularly at the beginning when you are building the chassis of the vehicle, they will turn the chassis round quite a lot, and it won't always be obvious that they've done that, so you can end up building bits on the wrong end and getting confused and things like that. So just bear that one in mind, that it will flip around. They're okay, they will get the job done, but nothing to write home about there, nothing particularly outstanding. Now, nothing was missing. In fact, I have quite a lot left over. There's no warpage, no discoloration. The fit and finish, however, that's a slightly different issue. Some of this is very, very loose. You can see that's supposed to be over there, but it's the wheels that are the biggest problem. Yes, there are some fragile bits on it. I would certainly suggest these steps at the side, the lights at the back and the front, and whatever these things are here on the side of these grey things. Once you get to that point, just leave them off until the end. It will drive you up the wall the amount of times that you are working with something else and you will catch it with your finger on the outside and just ping them off, and have to pick them up from the floor. Oh, and also these, which I assume are propellers at the back, because I know that the BTR4 is amphibious. Yeah, they do come off very easily. But the biggest problem, and I was really disappointed with this, because one of the first things you do when you first build this is you put in a few of the Technics sort of bricks, and for mounting wheels or wheels and tracks, I think that the Technics bricks are the best way of mounting them, because it's all well and good having a little axle that you pop in, particularly Wange do that a lot, but if you're putting and that marries into the usually on a flat plate, marrying into the chassis, but if you're putting any sort of vertical pressure on it, it does tend to make that go ping. Whereas with the Technics bricks, it does tend to hold them better, in my opinion. So when I saw that, I thought, oh great, fantastic. And then I saw how you build the wheels. I thought, oh, that's interesting, because essentially they're on what I assume is some sort of form of suspension arm. But then this happens. Now it's not just that bit there, but I'll take that off and just to illustrate it. So you push it into the arm, and then there you go. That's exactly what happens. Just the finishing is, or the fitting rather, is pretty bad on the suspension arms. Now if you've got spares of, and it's, this is an annoying thing, that goes into that and there's a pig to try and get out, so that fits in there really nicely. This little beastie here that it fits into, let's push that back in. There we go, he's in. Oh look, he's out. So unfortunately that does ruin this whole model for me. Now you can argue, and I don't think you'd be wrong in this argument, that if these fitted in and stayed in, would it be a good model? It would be an okay model. But obviously I can only review what I get. Now this may be indicative of all these models that the Wange have pumped out. It may be I've been really unlucky and I've got the only one that's where the wheels fall off. If I am, well, and you buy this and you're absolutely fine, then fantastic. But I can only review it on what I've got. So it the fit and finish, which is a bit of a shame because the rest of it is actually not too bad. Although I would say, I mean, I did the HIMARS by Wange, and it did have similar sort of issues really with things like this on the sides, insufficiently secured. But if you could avoid those, or you put them on last, it wasn't a bad model. I don't think this is particularly a bad model. It's just let down by some of the pieces that are in the model. And that's really all I can say about this thing. It's reasonably accurate as a design. The trouble with something like the BTR4 and a lot of other military vehicles is there's so many different variants that it is a little difficult sometimes to say, oh yeah, that's got the right proportions. So for instance, you've got on this one you have 2 windscreens at the front. I've seen it with 3. I've seen it with huge side windows, I've seen it with tiny side windows, I've seen it with no side windows. So it can be a little bit difficult to say yes, really accurate. I don't think it's bad. I'm a little bit perplexed about this particular gun on the top there. I think it's supposed to be a chain gun. I'm not entirely sure. I think that could have looked better. It looks more almost like a laser cannon. But that's a very minor point, and I'm sure you can always change that for something that's not going to be particularly difficult. Now this was £6.85, so not the most expensive thing in the world, definitely in the pocket money range. So ultimately, this BTR4, can I recommend that you get it? Well, I can't. However, I haven't seen many of these around. If you are absolutely dead set that you want to get a BTR4, well, at least the risk is not too expensive if it doesn't work out. And that's probably the best I can say about this, really. It's not thrilled me. It has disappointed me somewhat, as have Wange on this. I think the one thing that I feel this lacks most, certainly compared with the HIMARS, which was a similar sort of size, slightly more pieces, but in the same range, was that the HIMARS had a bit of personality about it. This doesn't really seem to, and I think that's a shame. And well, oh, more bits falling out. It's, yeah. Right, for the first time ever, I've come back to record something. Now, normally what I would do is I will record the video or chat about it. Then I will take some pictures for the videos that I put online, go off and then do the editing. Now, in the course of the pictures, pretty much every time I've touched this and every time it's moved, something has fallen off. So I left the original video saying, it's up to you guys, I might have been unlucky. And while that still may be the case, I am going to change my verdict and say, don't buy it. Even at the $6.85, unless you're buying it basically as cheap spare parts for, you know, your spare part bin or something like that, then save your money, get something else. If it's IFVs or APCs that you're after, the Slubin BMP is pretty good. An issue with the tracks, but it didn't fall apart every time you picked this up. Yeah, I can't recommend it, I'm afraid. Sorry. Anyway, there we go. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. If you have, please like and subscribe. And I remember I stream on Monday evenings and Thursday mornings under the Brick Army 2024 if you go onto Twitch. And I will hopefully see you again soon. You take care. Bye bye.